Who found the body?
Becky, my most trusted ranger, looked up and pointed at a young Zulu guard, Similane, standing a little way off. I beckoned for him to come over.
Sawubona, Similane, I greeted him. What happened here?
Sawubona, Mkhulu. I was on patrol when I saw the dead rhino, he replied quietly, staring at the ground.
Who was with you?
I was alone.
You were on patrol out here all alone? I asked, surprised.
Poaching patrols always consisted of 2 armed men.
Yes, I was alone,
he was barely whispering. I was about to press on with the questioning when a loud Zulu voice interrupted me.
Mkhulu, there is too much blood.
It was Becky, down on one knee closely examining the rhino's head.
There is too much blood, he repeated. That means they were in a hurry. They took the horns while she was still alive. Maybe unconscious, but alive.
For a moment we just stared at Becky. Then it sank in. These monsters had hacked the horn off a living animal.
Which way did they go?
I asked Becky, who had been at my side in several firefights with poachers over the past decade. He pointed east.
4, maybe 5 hours ago.
That meant that unless they were in hiding, they would be almost out of the reserve and heading towards the townships, where we would never catch them. However, that didn't mean we wouldn't try. At the very least, it would give us something physical to do to vent our fury.
Okay. We all know the drill, I said. These guys are probably carrying AKs, and we all know what that means. If we make contact, and they so much as think of lifting their rifles, shoot fast and shoot first, as we'll be up against automatic fire.
I looked at the solemn faces. Armed only with shotguns and Second World War-era Lee-Enfield .303 bolt-action rifles, they were completely outgunned. But that would not deter these hard, dedicated men for a moment. They would be facing automatic weapons, replying as fast as their wrists could work their rifle bolts. You cannot imagine the courage that takes. I had a pump-action shotgun that was fast and deadly and spread 9 lead balls in a lethal cluster. Our weapons complemented each other well. The .303s had a longer range than an AK, and the shotguns at close quarters in thick bush didn't miss. Used in tandem, they were a match for the illegal AK-47s, so favoured by poachers.
Bring your own water and keep your safety catches on. Let's go.
We would be moving as fast as we could in thick bush, and I didn't want anyone tripping and blasting the person ahead of them. The going was tough, and by mid-morning we were well off the beaten path, following barely discernible game trails used by the poachers. The sun burned relentlessly, a typical Zululand scorcher, and sweat poured from our bodies, stinging our eyes and drenching our shirts. But hyped up with adrenaline and anticipation, we never eased our blistering pace. If we faltered, any slim chance of catching them would be lost. It's difficult to remain calm when you see a rhino brutally slaughtered for a horn that consists of little more than keratin, the same fibrous structural protein you find in hair and fingernails. In fact, it's impossible. You're more likely to be consumed by raging fury, but that won't do any good. Rhino horns are used for mythical medicinal purposes in countries across Asia as part of their traditional healing systems. In traditional Chinese medicine, it is believed to cure types of fever, for instance, and the increasing wealth of these economies has created an insatiable demand. Tens of thousands of rhino have been killed in Africa, with several subspecies hunted to extinction. The demand is reminiscent of a 19th century gold rush, and with good reason. On the streets of China or Vietnam, ounce for ounce, the horn is more valuable than gold. If you truly want to grasp the situation faced by conservationists, do what a poacher does, and look at a rhino and see a 3-foot-long horn made of pure gold. Game rangers are in the unenviable and extremely hazardous position of trying to protect solid gold. What should be locked securely in a vault instead walks around on 4 legs in the bush. It is not an exaggeration to say that every rhino on the planet is now in mortal danger. Unless something fundamental changes, and quickly, every last one in the wild will eventually be killed. As we pushed on, we periodically picked up traces of the killer's trail, such as footprints, a small patch of flattened grass, a marked tree, or flecks of blood, probably oozing from the horn that the killers would be carrying in a Hessian sack. These signs that we were on the